Andrew Tate, How He Abused, Part 1. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Vice has certainly got its teeth into Mr. Tate, and there's another article from Vice World News which merits being broken down so that you understand how a narcissist, in this instance an upper lesser type B somatic, views the world and behaves. By utilising the material that has been put forward by Vice World News, I'm able to overlay it with my analysis with regard to narcissism, explaining precisely what drives Tate's behaviours and bringing you added insight. The article by Jamie Tarsin, Matt Shee and Tim Hume leads with the headline, "I love raping you. What Andrew Tate told woman who accused him of rape." London. In 2015, controversial alpha male influencer Andrew Tate, grandiosity, delusion, was arrested over another allegation of rape in the United Kingdom, following a complaint from a woman who supplied police with messages sent by Tate in which he wrote, "I love raping you." The messages are Hoover's. They're a direct assertion of control over the victim using a malign method of assertion of control by making reference to stating, "I love raping you." Now, it might be the case that no actual rape has taken place, and this is the manifestation of the grandiosity of Tate in stating this, believing that he has such power over women that he can rape them and then mock them. Or it might be the case that there's a utilisation of the truth, that he has raped this particular person, and thereafter, when she comes back up on the radar, his narcissism directs him to use the mockery and the insult by stating, "I love raping you." Furthermore, of course, this is an excellent example of the idiocy of the lesser narcissist, of providing evidence that could then be used against him. In the moment, the narcissism is only concerned with asserting control over the victim and drawing fuel from her, and compels him as a means to do that by making him or causing him to write, "I love raping you." The intention of that is to bring her under control, keep her under control, draw a response which provides fuel. The narcissism has no regard for the collateral consequences that arises from writing such a thing, namely, this could be used as evidence against him with regard to the commission of a criminal act. All the narcissism cares about is ensuring that in that moment, control is asserted and fuel is drawn. And this is demonstrative of why the lesser and mid-range narcissists invariably get themselves into such difficulties. The article continues. Vice World News reported earlier that Tate was arrested on suspicion of sexual assault and physical abuse in 2015, following separate allegations by two other complainants. In 2019, the Crown Prosecution Service, CPS, declined to pursue charges against Tate for any of these allegations. The woman who supplied police with messages sent by Tate said police told her charges were not brought about because there was an ounce of doubt in the case. Among the dozens of messages and voice notes received and reviewed by Vice World News that Tate sent the woman, hoovering, is a voice note in which he appears to admit to raping her, saying, "Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. It turned me on. Why am I like that? Why?" Again, sending a message of such a description is a means of asserting control over the victim, to do so by a malign way. It shows an element of sadism. It demonstrates an absence of emotional empathy. It shows a sense of entitlement. It's bringing up the past and triangulating the individual with the commission of a supposed criminal act. Again, it might be the case that it didn't take place, and this is Tate engaging in grandiose, deluded behaviour to assert power, control over this individual, or it did take place, and the mocking that he's doing is when she comes back up on the radar at a later juncture, and his narcissism compels him to hoover in this fashion. Again, collateral consequences because he's creating evidence. Now you're going to be able to hear what he actually said in the voice note.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. Turn me on. Why am I like that? Why? I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get fucked by me. Would you rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather fuck? You didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to. That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this fucking planet. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. Chill the fuck out. Jesus Christ, I thought you were cool. What's wrong with you?
And there you have a succession of voice notes that were left by Andrew Tate for this particular victim, demonstrating the base manner of the upper lesser type B. He, of course, talks about at the beginning, the more that that person didn't like it, the more that he enjoyed it and it turned him on, belittlement. He then states, I'm one of the most dangerous men on this planet, grandiosity. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get fucked by me, grandiosity. Would you rather pin me down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather fuck, mention somebody else? You didn't like whatever I was wanting to do to you, I can do whatever I want to you. That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this fucking planet. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. Chill the fuck out, Jesus Christ. So he invalidates the individual. He clearly has a deluded view of himself in terms of being the most dangerous and the smartest person being on the planet. There's the grandiosity, the haughtiness, the dismissiveness, the absence of emotional empathy, all evident in this form of hoovering that Tate is engaging in, as described in these voice messages. Once again, of course, it demonstrates that he's not the smartest person on the planet because of the collateral consequences of him talking about the things that he's done to this person, whereby he's assaulted them and belittled them, etc., and has now created evidence of what he has done. The report continues. The woman, whom we will refer to as Amelia, is the third woman to reveal to Vice World News that they had filed police complaints alleging sexual or physical abuse by Tate, an American-British social media influencer and former professional kickboxer who was arrested in Romania, as part of a separate rape and human trafficking investigation. Vice News withheld the woman's identity as an alleged victim of sexual offences and to prevent harassment and trolling by Tate's supporters, they, of course, being members of the coterie engaging in that particular behaviour. Two other women, one of whom says she was raped, sexual violence, assertion of control, and the other of whom she says she was repeatedly strangled, physical violence, went public with their experiences last week. They revealed that after their initial complaints in 2015, Hertfordshire police took 4 years to pass the case to prosecutors, who then declined to prosecute. Amelia, who to this day does not know the identities of the other women, had her complaint handled as part of the same investigation, before the CPS told the women in 2019 that there was no realistic prospect of a conviction. Amelia's experiences, from the alleged rape in 2013 to learning that Tate would not be prosecuted to then watching him become one of the most famous people on the planet, have left her feeling as though she is struggling every day. But she felt emboldened to go public with her story after seeing the other two complainants speak out. She said she no longer wanted to live in fear of Tate, and that she felt she had a duty to tell her story, to potentially prevent other women from being hurt. Amelia said that she and Tate had been acquainted since 2009. The relationship turned romantic for the first time in 2013, after they bumped into each other and reconnected on a night out. She comes up on his radar, he then has to assert control over her. The rape, she said, happened in November 2013, the first time Amelia went to Tate's flat, after they had been dating for 2 or 3 weeks. She said the pair had previously kissed, but nothing more. Back then, and he knew this, I'd only been with 2 people, she said. He knew what that meant to me. The act was very important to me. Accordingly, him obtaining that information allows him to use a potential vulnerability against the victim. She said the pair were kissing on Tate's bed when he began trying to take off her clothes. Lack of boundary recognition. She had previously told him, she said, that she didn't want to have sex. He stopped, reassured her that nothing was going to happen, and they continued kissing. After a while, she said he suddenly stopped and lay back on the bed. Withdrawal. I got up and looked at him and went, "What's wrong?" She said. This guy literally laid there and went, "I'm just debating whether I should rape you or not." Threat, assertion of control. Amelia said she was stunned, unsure if it was some sort of sick joke. She said she put her hand on his chest and said, "Don't be stupid, what are you talking about?" That, of course, is challenge fuel. Within an instant, he changed who he was, she said. He wasn't the same Andrew that I knew that was funny, that would make me laugh. It was like his eyes went. Darkening of the eyes, narcissistic response, and I didn't have a clue who that person was. Suddenly, she said, Tate grabbed her neck and started strangling me, forcing my trousers off me, assertion of control by physical means. I was trying to keep them on, challenge fuel, and he started screaming at me, "Take the fucking trousers off, bitch." Verbal violence, assertion of control. The sudden outburst of violence from Tate, who was at the time a professional kickboxer, made Amelia feel powerless to fight back, she said, and fearful of how far the assault would go. "I've never been strangled before. I don't know if he's going to stop, and I was so scared," she told Vice World News. "It's like, whenever you think about being in that situation, you think you're going to fight back. But I'm telling you, you don't. Because if you fight back, what else is he going to do to you? He's a 6'3" champion kickboxer, for God's sake." Tate then raped her. Sexual violence, assertion of control, absence of emotional empathy. As he did, she said, he continued to choke her, saying things like, "Who do you belong to?" Objectification, ownership, even as she was unable to physically speak due to his hands constricting her throat. He's like, "Fucking say it, bitch. You're not fucking saying my name. Say my fucking name, otherwise I'll kill you," she said. Verbal violence, physical violence, threat. After assaulting her, Amelia said Tate went to sleep, absence of remorse or conscience, with his arm around her while she lay awake for hours, trying to process what had just happened. When she got home the next day, she recalls she cried in the bathtub and called a friend, who helped spell out to her what had happened to her was rape. Vice World News has spoken to the friend, who confirmed the details of the conversation. We are not naming her to protect her and Amelia's identities. Accordingly, this is demonstrative of the way that Tate abuses one of his victims by raping her and doing so with very obvious behaviours which are commensurate with the behaviour of the lesser, obvious enjoyment in the devaluing behaviour, another indicator of the behaviour of the lesser, of course, an absence of any veneer or facade. In part 2, I continue with a further analysis of the Vice article. Join me there.